Hey, welcome to this video. Have you ever been in a situation where you're on a discovery session with a prospect, and then when you come up with your pricing, they say something like, that is too expensive, right? And then you're taken aback and you're not sure how to deal with that objection? Here in this video, I'm going to tell you exactly what you need to do. But if you haven't subscribed to this channel yet, just go ahead and hit the subscribe button and hit the bell as well so you get more notifications when we put out great videos. Okay, so first of all, I want to help you understand that there is a big difference between a prospect who says that is too expensive and that is a lot of money. Let me help you understand. When a person says that's a lot of money, that is not an objection. That is actually their perspective on your pricing, and that's okay. They have a right to have that perspective. And how you handle this is very different to how you handle a prospect saying that is a lot, that is too expensive. They're two different things. I've done another video where I kind of went into some detail about dealing with clients or prospects who do say that's a lot of money. You can check out that video later. But right now, let's focus on the prospect who actually says, that's too expensive. You're charging too much. That is an objection, right? Now, for most of us, when that happens, we're likely to go on the defensive. We want to try to justify our prices. We want to try to prove to them that our products are not, or our service is not too expensive. That is what we're tempted to do. We're almost instinctively driven to do that. And I'm saying to you, don't do that. Instead, you've got to understand that as soon as this happens, it means something has gone wrong, right? And what you want to do is you want to understand where things went wrong. So before you try to salvage the situation and try to justify your pricing, what you want to do in this situation right now is you want to learn. So switch from trying to enroll a client and switch your mindset to trying to understand what happened and what went wrong and where it went wrong. So what you want to do in this situation is you want to basically turn it back to them and say, hey, that's interesting. Could you help me understand why you think it is too expensive? And then just listen. Remember, you're not here to try to justify your price and get your ego out the way. Your focus here is to try to understand why they think your prices are too expensive. And it could be one of a number of things. One of the reasons is they could say something like, compared to what other people out there are charging, that your rates are a little too high. Or it could be something along the lines of, for what they believe they're getting, right, you're charging too much, right? Whatever it is, ask those questions and then focus on trying to understand and learn from that experience. Now, it's okay if, having received that feedback from them, you then sit down and really try to help them understand why it's worth however much you're charging. But the truth is, it can be quite difficult in this situation because they have already made up their mind, they have voiced their opinion, and now you need to basically prove to them that their opinion is wrong. And this is what people call objection handling, but that actually is a tough thing to do, and it's not a great place to be, because sometimes you find yourself going back and forth and arguing back and forth, especially if they're very strong-willed and they're really aligning with the position they had come up with initially, which is that your rates are too high. So what you really want to do in this situation is just focus on trying to understand where you got it wrong. If they're comparing your rates with other people, then what that means is with your marketing process, you hadn't really been able to distinguish yourself and your brand and your services from others out there. And that's really critical that you do. So you've got to then identify, this is where you got it wrong, and what can I put in place to help ensure that my prospects see me different from others out there in my space, so they're not comparing me with another. You don't want to get into a transactional relationship with potential clients. Now, if it's a situation where maybe they're thinking, well, for what I'm getting, I don't think I should be paying this much. Now, that simply means you haven't really focused on building the value of the outcome that you're going to help them experience as a result of buying your product or service. And again, if that's the case, then maybe you had rushed things too quickly. You had gone quickly to getting them enrolled rather than really getting them to the point where they believe that what you have is more valuable to them than having that money sitting in their bank account. The truth is this: if they believe that what you're offering is worth more than having that money sit in their bank account, they will spend that money with you. So if they come back and say that your rates are too expensive, it's because they don't believe. It simply means you hadn't helped them get to the point where they believe that what you're offering is worth more than the price that you are charging. So when you have a person say, that's too expensive, then what you want to do is you want to step back a little bit and then ask them why. Why do you think so? And try to understand where things went wrong with that prospect. Is it just that, with this prospect, you missed an important part of the process? Or could it be that you need to go back and review your process and then improve the process to make sure whatever is causing that objection is dealt with, right? The key thing is, before you sit down and have a conversation with a prospect, and even when you're sitting down to have a conversation with a prospect, whether it's face-to-face or whether it's a virtual conversation via Zoom or whatever sort of platform you're using, you want to make sure that they are at a point where they believe that what you're offering them is hugely valuable, and they believe they need what you have to get what you want. And never present your price before then, and you're less likely to have that objection. Hope this is useful. Go ahead and leave your comments and let me know, and I would reply to every single one of them. Maybe not straight away, but I definitely would. So once again, go ahead and subscribe and check out other videos that we have. This is DJ Sabanjo, and take care.